Welcome to Washington in Focus. I'm Timothy Schuman. Joining me today is the Center Square's investigative reporter, TJ Martinell. TJ, you recently authored a story titled Residents Push Back Against City's Proposed Slush Fund in Bellevue. It sounds like the Bellevue City Council is essentially creating a public transportation district that they then took control of so that they could generate an additional $10 million in tax revenue without putting it to the vote of the citizens. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah. So what they're doing is they created a transportation benefit district, which allows them to levy separate taxes that go toward transportation projects. And so they're typically funded through a vehicle license fee or a local sales tax increase. And so they voted to create it in July. And what they did at a recent meeting is they voted to assume control over it. So what that means is that they can conduct transportation benefit district business during a regular city council meeting. So right now it does not have a tax or any kind of levy associated with it. So it's not currently being funded.
No, but correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like they're interested in implementing both of these, both the vehicle license fee and an additional tax.
They might do one or the other. Right now they're looking at the 0.1% sales tax increase. So currently the local sales tax rate is 3.6%. And so they would generate around $10 million a year in additional tax revenue. And this would go towards projects like transportation infrastructure maintenance.
But it sounds like that 3.6% would be increased to 3.7%. And only a portion of that funds would go towards transportation maintenance. The rest of it would go into the general fund, hence the term slush fund in the title.
Well, what it would do is the $3 million out of the $10 million would go towards a specified maintenance work. The other $7 million, they don't know what's going to be done with it. There's no specified projects. And that's one of the problems that people have is they're saying you want to raise this new money to pay for projects, but you're not mentioning what the projects are. It's sort of like they're not coming up with reasons for why they need this new money. They're just saying that they need it. But when they're asked what do they need it for, they're only able to come up with $3 million worth of projects.
So yeah, it sounds like almost the opposite of an unfunded liability.
Right. What it is it's basically $7 million that they could use for something else. But here's the other takeaway that critics are noting. It doesn't have a sunset clause, so the transportation benefit district would exist in perpetuity unless the council voted to dissolve it. And also they can always increase the tax rate if they decide to fund it. So it could start at 0.1% sales tax, but it could go up to 1% or 2% or whatever amount that they wanted to do. And this might not be the current city council. This could be a new city council with entirely new members in 10, 20 years.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's not a lot of guardrails on this particular new tax. It also, from your article, sounds like the former deputy mayor as well as the former city council member, Kevin Wallace, came out against this particular new tax.
Yeah, he noted that you shouldn't be raising taxes for road maintenance or transportation maintenance. And if you're going to do this kind of thing, you need to have specific projects for it to fund. And, his way of putting it was that you're putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, it sounds like they're looking to create a new recurring source of revenue that they can use for, whatever they please.
Right. And well, the tax itself won't cost a whole lot. It's probably $20 to $30 a year. The bigger issue is that it's the fourth and new tax the council has enacted in 10 months without voter approval. And they've increased the sales tax locally by a significant amount in recent years. So it's pointing out a raindrop amid a million raindrops that create a flood, as they see it.
Sort of like a death by 1,000 cuts situation.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if this transportation district actually implements this new tax now that they've been moved under the purview of the city council, and the city council can conduct business without having to hold a separate meeting about it.
Yeah, and on a final note on that, they were actually going to vote to fund the district at this same meeting, but there was so much community pushback that they decided to delay and just vote on assumption.
So we'll see in the next meeting, I guess, if the community is still pushing back. Listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com. For TJ Martinell, this is Timothy Schuman. Please subscribe, and thanks for listening.